Hi chums. The comments in the last video were very good. Um, you looked like an old time gold prospector, and someone else. You looked like you're part of a witness protection program. And I was laughing about this with my wife, and she says, Brendan, your friends are trying to tell you that you look like a tramp. Will you please cut that beard? So I'm going to do something about it. All right, so I've done a bit of work today. My brother-in-law came over to help me today, which was brilliant because there's some work I wanted to get done and I couldn't do it. It was just far too heavy for one man, and especially me now that I can't lift stuff much. So I'm just going to go through. This is still a mess, but it's not a real bad mess in the sense of it's just beyond any sort of order or anything else. Things here can be moved quickly and out, and that's all part of the process. It's hard to make an omelette without breaking eggs. But I just noticed this here in the way, and see this piece of marble here is a part of a headstone, and I got that for about, I think, £10, about $15, and off a local guy here, and it's a brilliant surface because it's dead smooth, and you can use it for like put a bit some water on it, and you put wet and dry abrasive and do your sharpening, or even just things like I was building the other day. I needed a really flat surface to build it to make sure everything was square, and that there's just perfect, you know. So if I'm doing things I needed to be precise about, I would take measurements from this up so I know they're all sitting on the same plane. So if you can get your hands on a piece of granite or a headstone of any type, that's great. I think that's only like about an inch thick. It's not even that thick, but it's very heavy and very stable. Is my phone about to go off? No, it's not. Right, you'll see a difference in here. I told you I was going to move the lathe about. Well, that's what we did. And you can see it has made a huge difference in terms of space. Now what I'll do is I'll come over to this other door and come in this way. And I'll let you see it from coming in from this side. And as you can see, I was panning too fast, sorry. As you can see, it has opened up the whole of the inside. And it means that I have most of the floor space now is available for doing other things than turning. So if I want to do a wee project in here to build something, I've got this extra space. Now there's going to be a lot more space because this stuff here, all this stuff you see along here is mostly tools belonging to my mates who were working here, so they haven't come back to get them because they have to come back and finish the place off on the outside, so they get them then. So when those go, it'll make a difference. But the big difference has been this. You remember this lathe was sitting this way, okay? And it meant that it was actually at an angle going that way, and there's a walkway here to get into this corner. And in that corner was this table. By panning too fast again. In the corner was this table, and there's a router table that Alan very kindly gave me. And I've just only dug that out because it's been under so much stuff for so long. But you can see I'm starting to get to a stage where I'm getting access to my tools. And whenever I get this place in behind me cleared, am I panning too fast again? No. When I get in here cleared and stuff on wheels, it'll make it a lot easier. Now, the problem with having a lathe here was that I was standing here working, which meant that I really cut down the space between this wall and this wall here, and I want to put a bench in there, and I want the bench to be about as wide as this cabinet, which is about 20 inches from there to there. I know that because I measured it earlier on, but I can actually go to 2 feet and get a wider bench and still have enough access without blocking the thing, because it's quite dangerous to be blocking a walkway when you're working at a lathe, because somebody tries to get past without you noticing, you could get pushed onto the work. So need to be careful with that. So the first big job was getting this lathe turned around, and what it has done is it has allowed me to put the abrasives in between both lathes, so that's handy for both people doing it, and it has also opened up this wall space for tools, so I can now use magnetic brackets and tool holders to get stuff off this thing. Look at this here. There's about 20 different chisels in there and around about here that I haven't even touched because I've nowhere to put them. So I can get chisels out and have access to all my tools, you know. So that was a good job getting this turned around. Now one of the problems was that we couldn't get it leveled because the feet had basically corroded over the years, and they weren't loose. Well, one of them was, the rest weren't. But what we did was we used this. That's butyl rubber off a conveyor belt, and I cut that from in here. As you can see, there's a big sheet of it there on the floor. There, and it runs right up to here. So I would cut pieces off. As you can see, I cut pieces off for spacers, and that's great stuff for starting on when you're working on concrete. It stops the cold getting through to you. So that's a piece of a conveyor belt that my mate's father got me. So we used that, and we used pieces of thin ply to get the lathe levelled. So we got that one done. But so the centre height here is about 45 inches. The problem over here was the centre height was at about 47 inches, which is 2 inches too high. Now, it doesn't sound like very much, but whenever you walk from this lathe to this lathe and you have to suddenly readjust everything you do upwards, it can be quite tiring actually. And there's also a little element of danger, maybe, that I'm going to be complacent and forget that I'm working above my normal height. So what we did was, I had bought these feet because my mate Michael had this thing bolted to a wooden floor. So I bought these feet, but you can see the problem there on those feet. From those two nuts and the foot is 2 inches. So you're automatically lifting that 2 inches before you even start levelling it. And when we levelled, we were adding another inch height when we levelled it to try and get it done. So what we did instead was we used the shims again at the bottom, just the conveyor belt, the butyl rubber and some, what do you call that stuff, plywood, and we got it levelled up. So it's perfectly level and square, and the working height is 45 inches, and the middle height here is 45 inches. So it means that everything is at the same height now, which is what I really wanted. So where do we go from here? The next part is to get the dust extraction sorted out. So I'm going to bring the dust extraction along the wall and across here, and that will give me extraction for the two lathes. I'm going to bring extraction over this way for that sander and the router table. So I'll put it there, but I'm going to have to maybe move this table, put this table on wheels so they can turn it out towards me to get more space for the router table, but that's okay. This stuff underneath will be going, but it's only there temporarily until I get all this side here all sorted out. So this as I say, today was a huge help because I got panning too fast. I got this all sorted out, and I'm really pleased. It's a lot better, but you have to try these things out. I didn't know what the best solution would be. I thought that where I put the lathes made the most sense, but this is actually much better. So that's where we are. We've got the space opened up now. We've got room to move. If two people are working, there's plenty of room for them to jump out of each other's way. And what do you call it? It means there's good access into this area here. So there you go. Kostas in Greece asked me he told me he wanted to see my workshop, so about 5 or 10 minutes ago. So here you go, Kostas. In Greece, guess what his crappy local wood is? Olive. He turns olive the way the rest of us turn like ash and pine. And he would love to get his hands on ash, maybe, you know. But his local wood is olive. How lucky is that? His stuff's very good. So that's where we are. And I will do an update now. My next job's going to be getting the walls sorted out. I'm going to put some, I've got my brackets. There's my brackets, my magnetic brackets all ready to go. I've got 4 of those, and I set those in the table saw, and I could hardly get them back off again. So I'll put those up on the wall, get some magnetic brackets up. I'm going to have tool holders in the wall as well, and I'm going to have a tool holder here for tools that both are sort of not used very often, but applicable to both lathes, if you want to put it that way. And then the tools that we use a lot will be on this trolley here, which can be moved about. So that's where we are. Okay, so where do we go now? Yeah, I just want to say thanks to Pat. That was a brilliant, really good day, Pat. And then I should have done a video. He made like an Art Deco bud vase out of yew, and it was really nice, very nice indeed. So we got him turning again, which was very good. He hadn't been turning for a long time, so hopefully he'll be out more often to do that. So there you are now, folks. That's me. I'm knackered. I'm going to go in and get a shower and get changed because I feel really awful wearing same clothes 2 days in a row. But there's no point in putting a new shirt on when it's going to come out here and be rolling about in dirt all day, you know. So I'll get in and get sorted out now and cleaned up, and I'll probably kick a run through this beard with the clippers. Okay, all the best now. Bye bye. Let's try and find it. This camera is different from the last camera. Let us see. There we go. Bye bye.